Hello, I'm Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity and creator of Bogash Life and Balance. And today we're going to talk about a topic that's really, just like everything else, has kind of gone off the rails in the past couple of years. And that has to do with the carnivore type diet, where we should eat tip to tail and plant products are basically toxic. And so I read one of the carnivore books, and quite frankly, it was very hard to get through because I had to fact check every single article that they were referencing, and the vast majority of them were taken out of context. And the real problem is that if you're going to be a diehard carnivore, and I've certainly had online conversations with some of them, and they're just, you have to be really dedicated to a topic to completely ignore a very large body of evidence that suggests that certain plant-based compounds are very good for us. And to call them toxic, you have to essentially throw out hundreds of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of studies that suggest the opposite. And yet they do, suggesting that, well, those were all funded by industry. I don't know who has a lot of money to be made by saying that tea saves lives, but apparently there's lots of money in that. So probably the best balance to that is something like Gundry's work in the Plant Paradox, where he talks about certain vegetables and fruits that do have some potential toxicity for us. So not all of them are good or bad. There's definitely some balance there. A lot of it has to do with the time that that particular fruit or vegetable is harvested and the things that the plants do to protect themselves, or actually put it out there that they're ready to be eaten. So fruits, when they're ripe, they want to be eaten, so the seeds can be taken elsewhere and spread. So just to throw out another one of these studies that the carnivore crowd completely ignores is a recent study looking at 807 people out of Italy, men and women, average age 65, and they followed them for 12 years, and they looked for something called polyphenols in their urine. So think of berries, tea, coffee. Those are foodstuffs, drinks that have a lot of polyphenols in them. And the data overwhelmingly suggests that they are very good for us. I don't know that I've ever seen a study that suggests that those compounds are bad for us. So much in line with the idea that they're good for this, these researchers looked at what happened over the 12 years of the study, and they found that those that had the highest urinary tract or urinary concentrations of the polyphenols, so they were actually eating them. They didn't say, hey, I'm eating them, or I think I'm eating them. They were actually showing up in the urine. So it's a really good marker for whether or not somebody is taking them in. Those people with the highest intakes had a 30% lower risk of dying from anything over the course of the study. That's a really hard argument to suggest that these are toxic. The researchers even went to say that polyphenols likely have a role in longevity. That runs completely opposite the idea that these are toxic. As always, I'm always interested in conversations, but the carnivore people that are diehard don't ever seem to provide me with the research. They just say it's out there and plants are toxic. But they don't usually back up what they have to say. And for me, I'm always about backing up what I have to say. So as always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.